Today we got another Osho book. It seems like every time I pick up an Osho book, I learn more and more of what it means to be an individual, what it means to be a person. And this is a great book. Let me read the title so I get it right. Destiny, Freedom, and the Soul. What is the meaning of life? The reason I would suggest this book is a simple one. Most of the world focuses on the future. They focus on, oh, well, I'm going to sacrifice this life so that I can be in heaven later on. Or, oh, I'm going to sacrifice now at this job so that by the time I'm 65, I might be a little bit happy. And it's like, Osho, in an essence, Osho's entire message, if you couldn't even say he has a message, is that the present is the only thing that matters. The present is the only thing that we can affect. If we can be happy in the present, that's all we can guarantee, but we can't guarantee a future. We can't guarantee that anything is going to happen in the future because the future we view is always a representation of the past. We like to take the past and project it to the future. And when we live in these paradigms, when we live in these ways, we really take away from the essence of what life really is. We really take away from the beauty that life can provide. Like when you're worried about, oh, can I pay this bill? Can I do this? Can I do that? You can't appreciate the trees when you walk down the street. You can't appreciate the love and affection that your girlfriend gives you, or your mother gives you, or whoever it is in your life that you really appreciate. You can't appreciate them if you're not in the moment. You can't appreciate them if you're not present. Like you may be on a date with the person that you really love, but you're worried about, can I pay for this? Can I pay for this? And it's like, it's really, really frustrating to me that the entire just mindset of most individuals is focused on everything except the current moment. And the more present you can be, the less you have to worry. The more present you can be, the less you're going to question, what is the meaning of all of this? Is there a God? Is there an afterlife? Is there heaven? Is there destiny? Is there all of these things? Like, it's crazy to me. It truly is. It really is. And even at a certain point, like, Osho starts bringing astrology into this book, and that's what I find really interesting. I love reading my natal chart. I love reading all that stuff. There's something to be said that, like, if the people who built the pyramids so finely that you can't slide a piece of paper in between the stones because they're so finely set, if those people who were absolute geniuses were so obsessed with the stars, maybe there's something in it. Maybe there's something about destiny. Maybe there's something about the characteristics that you're given. And even on a fundamental level, like if you can use it to understand yourself better, I think it's a benefit. And even Carl Jung used psychology in his most hard cases to really understand the psyche of the person. But anyway, back to the book that we're talking about. Osho said that like great astrologers will say that you're destined for something, but those destinies are reliant that you are going to accept them, that you are going to be like everybody else, that you are going to not want to defy the odds and not want to step out on your own. And for so many people, astrology and destiny it's set in stone, but at the same time, like, you have the ability to affect it. Like, yeah, it might be predetermined when you're going to live and die, but it really matters what you do in that in between. It really matters how you approach things, the impact you leave, the joy that you spread to people, the happiness that you experience. And it's really weird to me how we have these ideas of predestination and then we think it's still not worth it, because even if everything is set in stone, wouldn't you want to enjoy that time? Wouldn't you want to enjoy the blessing of life that you've been given? And it's really weird and really frustrating to me that we get all these weird ideas of religion and all of these different interpretations, and it's like we're trying to assign human characteristics to God, and that's what frustrates me about a lot of religions. Like, you can never say that God is jealous, or God is this, or God is that, or God is wrathful. It's like, no. Those are all human characteristics. If God really is a thing, if God really does exist, I'm not an atheist, but this is just playing devil's advocate. Like, why would he choose? Why would he choose to be evil? Why would he choose to be good? Like, all of these ideas come from humanity. All of these ideas come from a person that has a very, very narrow perspective and not seeing the whole bigger picture. And the whole bigger picture is that, like, God is everything. So, like, he just is. And it's understanding this fundamental question. It's understanding your place in this big play that really puts in perspective, like, the only point of life is to live. The only point of life is to stop asking all these questions and just experience them. Like, if we look to Buddha, if we look to Lao Tzu, if we look to even Jesus, like, these people all lived. They didn't sit there wondering what was the meaning. They just chose to experience it for themselves. They chose to figure it out and unravel it along the way. And it takes me back to the J.R.R. Tolkien quote, which is, "Not all those who wander are lost." It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. We all end up in the same place. We all end up dead. And if you believe in reincarnation, if you believe in heaven, if you believe in whatever, it doesn't matter. It matters what you do in your time here. It matters how you choose to live. Do you choose to be happy? Do you choose to spread joy? Do you choose to appreciate the people around you? Or are you going to be a ball of just rain clouds and anger and all of these things? And it really is a choice. Happiness is a choice. And the more I say that, the more it really seems to settle into my life that most of the time I spent here, I've intentionally made my life bad. I've intentionally set things up in a way and framed them in a manner that made me less happy than I really should have been. And you know what? There's always someone with worse circumstances and there's always someone with better circumstances. And we need to understand this, because we could either look to the person that has better circumstances or we could look to the person that has worse and say, like, you know what? I guarantee you that person would die to be in my situation, and how dare I not appreciate what I have? Yeah, I can look to that other person ahead of me, but I can look to them as inspiration and not something that's going to bring me down. I can look to them and see that, you know what? If I really work hard, if I really settle in, if I really have a great idea and follow and carry it through, like, I can get to where that person can be, or is going to be right now. And it's really weird to me. It really is. And yeah, no, I just like the way Osho frames all these questions, and it goes back to the Socrates issue. It goes back to most of our lives we've been told to think certain things, and because we've been told to think certain things, we've never had to think for themselves. And it's when you can have a mind that stimulates these questions, when you can have a mind that wants you to not necessarily question everything, but look at it from a different perspective, look at it in a different lens, and through that find a better understanding. That's where the real growth comes from. The real growth comes from leading someone to think in a different mind, leading someone to think from a different perspective and see the bigger picture. Because if you break it down, that's what therapy really is. It's taking your circumstances and looking at it through a different lens so you can conceptualize them better and come to terms with what's happened. But again, I'm getting so far away from this book. I really just suggest you pick it up because, again, who doesn't want to hear Osho talk about destiny and life and what is God, what is purpose, what is the purpose of life? But if you liked any of the ideas I was sharing in this video, I think you're going to very much like this book, because in the past week I've been reading this. I know I read it very slow. I was reading it in the sauna, give me some slack. But in the past week of reading this, it's really made me think. It's really made me reflect. And Lord knows we need more thinking and more reflection in this world. And the more introspection we can have, the more we can come to terms with who we are. And the more we can come to terms with who we are, the less we're asking of other people. And the less we ask of other people, the less we need. And in a world of selfishness, in a world of, I need this, I need that, like, if you really want to be happy, you just, all you simply need to have is the ability to not need anything from anybody else. Be able to derive happiness from yourself. Be able to derive pleasure from yourself. To be able to be centered at all times. And when we understand these concepts, when we understand the ability to do these things, I think there's no choice but to be happy. So pick up this book. Link will be in the description. All my other links, my Discord, the paid community, everything else will be there. Consider checking those out as well. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. It means the world to me to see the growth. It means the world to me to see that we are about to hit 1,000 subscribers. That's crazy to me. It took me like a year and a half or 2 years to hit 1,000 on my other channel. So yeah, it's really awesome to see the growth. It's really awesome to see that I could do it within like 6-7 months. It's pretty cool. But yeah, more to come. More things we're gonna start doing. I might start doing live book breakdowns, breaking down simple concepts. I'll write out notes, I'll write out important parts, and we can go through the chapter. I might have some of the excerpts of the book if it's a public domain book. Like, there's just so many things we can do, and there's so many things that I want to do. So yeah, stick around on the channel, stay tuned, and so much more to come. Thank you guys.